go to Dr. Shivani Bansal, who's MD Medicine. And I would like to ask her, since she has been in the field of medicine for the past 15 years, that, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry. So, since you have been in the field of medicine for the past 15 years, as a consultant, as a professor, you have had a interaction with patients, students who have a very difficult curriculum to cater to go through exams, different kind of populations. And I'm sure in this journey, you have come across people who come to you for physical ailments, but you are able to see no physical symptoms, or the diagnosis is not there based on the testing that is conducted. So in such cases, what can doctors do? How do you direct these people to the right health center? Do are the patients open to listening to idea of going to a mental health care facility, or do you have to indirectly engage them and channelize this process?
Yeah. Thank you, Shuchi, and all the panel. I welcome all the panel members over here, and happy World Mental Health Day. So the question which has been asked to me, as Shuchi rightly said, I had been in practice for quite a long time now, and dealing with the patients who obviously come with the aid. They want a aid regarding their physical ailments mostly when they come to me. But during these times, like especially in last 4-5 years, I can say I have started realizing I've started rather practicing more towards a holistic approach. Maybe in my early days of career, I was also like more oriented towards just their physical needs. Like if someone is saying approaching to me with some complaints, I was also more like I was more inclined toward those complaints with which they were coming to me. But now, with experience, you can say I have like started shifting towards the holistic thing, and there's a huge burden of mental disease. The burden, it's just I can say it's just a tip of iceberg which we can see in our society. And most of the people are still unable to disclose their mental ailments, or what things they are going inside, what is going inside their mind. Still, many people are just not able to confide with it. They are just not able to disclose those things. And I think it's very pertinent also that meeting a person, like for me, I'm just talking regarding when a person comes to meet me as a physician, obviously open up regarding his or her mental health in the first meet. That needs a lot of effort from my side, like to be able to dig into those small intricacies. It takes a lot of effort, but yes, whenever the patients come in a subsequent visit, or if you are able to catch, they do come up with many of their underlying problems, and that they are very well related to their existing disease. So here I will like to discuss the combination of the physical and the mental diseases as the three sides of a coin. These are just not the two sides of a coin. They are basically three sides of the coin of their combination. The first presentation, a 16-year-old female. Now the complaints of the patient was that she came back from the school, and as she returned back home, her parents noticed that she is not behaving normally. It was not her normal behavior as she used to behave daily. They tried to inquire. Then they came to know that at the school, though she was quite a bright student, but at the school, she had some unpleasant experience in the form that when she was answering the question which was allotted to her by her teacher, her peers, her classmates made some fun of her. So that was the brief history which the parents got to know. So they tried all their rituals and the traditional ways to like to be able to make her their daughter feel good, but it didn't work. So they took her to a physician. Because still taking to a patient, a young girl, to a psychiatrist or a mental health counselor is still not very much open in our society. They took the patient to a physician. Rather, to me, they brought the patient. And when I tried to inquire her, I couldn't find the history of what they gave. It was not. I referred that patient to a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist counseled the patient, reviewed the patient, and to my surprise, the psychiatrist also couldn't find anything, and he referred back the patient back to me. Now the question begins, like, it was a learning lesson, obviously, for me. Okay, what happened? What is missing? Where are we losing those connecting dots? So when I tried to inquire more, I looked with other vision. Then, to my surprise, she was a case of meningoencephalitis. She was not having mental disease, but it was an organic disease. But the presentation was such, like, it was so sudden onset and everything happened like this, that I also thought it to be a psychiatric disease, and that was a learning lesson. That is a one aspect of the coin, that some diseases, though they are physical ailments, but initial presentation could be with some mental diseases. Next presentation, or the next side of the coin, could be another case, which is again my personal experience. He was a 38-year-old male presenting to emergency department with the complaints of chest pain. And when we tried to elicit the family history, the chest pain was quite typical. It was on the left side and was associated with sweating as well. We elicited the family history, and there was a strong family history that he said that his brother had similar type of complaints, like he had a chest pain most probably, and he succumbed to that. The family history which we got. So obviously it was a high suspicion of having some cardiac disease. The treatment was started. As per the coronary artery disease protocol, all the emergency treatment was started, and the patient somehow responded, but not completely. It was not a very good response to the treatment, but yes, we continued with the treatment. And subsequently, a day later, when the patient underwent the angiography, though ECG was normal, initial investigations were normal, but in the scenario of the strong clinical suspicion, he was still kept with a treatment protocol for a coronary artery disease. Subsequently, when the patient underwent a coronary angiography, his coronary angiography was absolutely normal. So that was again like, that is, angiography is one test which gives us much clarity, or rather it's a test which gives us the result in white and black. Now we are clear that no, it's not the chest pain. The cause of chest pain here is not a cardiac disease. This is rather the another aspect of this coin, which is the presentation which we called as psychosomatic disorders, right? Which we encounter in our day-to-day practice. Encountering psychosomatic disorders is under very, very common presentation of the patients. Psyche is mind, and soma are the cells of the body. So the mind has effect on every cell of the body, and every cell of the body has got its own memory. It's not only the mind which is like responsible for having its memory. Every cell of the body has its memory, and it's directly related to our thought process. That's the crux of this disease. And this thought process is affecting every cell, like it affects our blood flow. It affects the heart rate, our endocrine function, the absorption of the food, mechanism of the liver, lining of the stomach, function of the villi, and the musculoskeletal system as well. That is the intensity which I think most of us are still not able to give that importance to our thought process, or to the thought process of the persons to whom we are coming in interaction with. So these psychosomatic disorders, as I discussed, one case, but the presentation could be varied of these psychosomatic disorders, just from a simple headache even to even quadriparesis. Like patients may even present with grave presentations, like they are unable to just move their entire body. So there's a wide horizon of presentation of these psychosomatic disorders, and the burden of these psychosomatic disorders is also huge on our society. And I think still we need to work up more for these cases, because yes, it's a challenge for the physicians. At sometimes, at some point of time, we are also not able to clearly differentiate, and we also need to learn ourselves, be more learned, rather when to refer this patient to a psychiatrist or when to take the help of the psychotherapist required. So this was the second aspect of the coin. And the third aspect of the coin, third aspect is the small rim which joins the upper and the lower end of the coin. It's a thin rim. That is the third aspect. And those are the presentations like of some of the diseases which have associated neuropsychiatric disorders with them. For example, this is a small example, patients with SLE, that is a systemic lupus erythematosus, or some of the other connective tissue disorders also, they could have associated neuropsychiatric presentation. So that is to be very clear in our mind ki yes, the disease is organic, but it can have some neuropsychiatric presentations also. So this is the combination of the physical and the mental diseases which I could decipher till date, or what the literature says, or whatever my experience says. But yes, one thing is very clear, that still till date, the mental diseases are not being given the importance which they deserve. People are still not giving that importance. But yes, thanks to COVID times, maybe that some of the people are able to give that importance to their mental health. But till date, the gap is huge. Even I'm not sure how can we fill the society, but yes, if we are aware as a physician, I'm sure about myself now that yes, if I'm aware about these psychology, these aspects of diseases, I'm trying to help as many as persons as possible who come in contact with me with whatever aid as possible. I have a psychotherapist with me, and I definitely offer a help to them that you need a psychotherapy. It's very difficult to make them accept this thing ki, what, I need psychotherapy? Yes, you need a psychotherapy. It's difficult to help them, but I know being a physician, people do understand. Like when you talk to them and when you just get them to their level. आपको डॉक्टर बन के नहीं, आप जब थोड़ा सा when the patients start opening up with you and they start relating with you in some of the form that yes, you are talking to a human being. I'm also a human being. बहुत से लोग आते हैं like day before yesterday only, I had a young boy. He was like, मैंने उसकी pulse ली and there was tachycardia. So he at once he said to me, मैडम मैं तो जब भी किसी डॉक्टर के पास जाता हूँ मेरी तो हार्ट रेट बढ़ जाती है. मैंने कहा दैट्स गुड दैट यू स्टिल नो दैट इट्स योर प्रॉब्लम. आधे लोगों को तो पता ही नहीं होता कि उनको एक प्रॉब्लम है. At least you are aware about your problem, and that's the first step to solve any problem. You have to be aware of your problem. If you're aware of your problem, you will be able to resolve that problem. And I am telling you, within 2-3 minutes, he was so relaxed. He gave entire history. थोड़ी देर में उसकी heart rate भी settle हो गई, and like he was thanking me because that's the thing, like you just make the patient feel comfortable, and patient will definitely come up with so many things in the conversation, like you can actually help them in many ways. So that's something from my side. Hopefully I had been clear, and if there are any more questions, I am here to answer. Thank you, Shruti.